Taisei with Taisei Discovers. Today we are in the vineyards at Maui Wine on the island of Maui, Ulupalakua Ranch. Super special, you know, to kind of be on the ground with the actual winemaker. This is Henry Hegele here. So generous to invite us over and to actually even stay with them at their home. Today, we're going to talk about the vineyards, maybe a little bit of education on the behind the scenes stuff. You know, what happens before you purchase the bottle of wine at your local store, right? Henry, can you tell us where we are?
Yeah, so we're down in Viognier, just above our Chenin. So Viognier is kind of a fun one for us just because we haven't had a ton of it reach the market, unfortunately. We did some pruning practice that we've learned doesn't work on Viognier. We did it as similar to a lot of our other varietals. We did the vertical shoot positioning double spur, or double bud pruning, and that does not work as well on Viognier. Softer wood, Beetles got in a little bit too much. So what we're doing is we're switching to cane pruning, which every year you're rotating wood a lot more aggressively and cleanly. So it gives us a higher chance of consistent Viognier crop as well as just consistency in the wine. Because it's the vines itself are only around 10, 12 years old. So more mature you get, the more consistency you get in actually what they're gonna produce like, taste like, smell like. It helps with basically the longevity of the wine.
Okay, so let's tell the viewers, because not everybody understands some of this terminology.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And I'll try and dumb it down,
Yeah.
Wine for Dummies, right?
Yeah. Wine for Dummies.
My
bro.
mom has that book, bro. Great, it's a great book. It helps.
I have that book too, bro. It helps you. But you know, so what we're looking at here is Viognier. It's a white grape varietal from France.
Yes.
Right? And it's now here in Hawaii.
Yes. Yeah, so there's no real rhyme or reason with the varietals. It's basically, like you can probably remember this from the last time we talked to my mom. It was throwing stuff at a dartboard. It was figuring out, like, we experimented with different sites of the vineyard. We also experimented with, I think, around like 30 varieties at one point. Everything from hybrid to then like your traditional like Viognier, Syrah, like Cab, Chardonnay, stuff that you find everywhere. Not all of it worked out though, of course, because some of those, didn't pan out.
So you said like 9 to 10 years old, and have you had any successful vintages?
Oh yes, no, so we've had immense success. So when we first actually got it planted, like, you've probably heard this or read this in the books, is that everyone's like, wait 6 years, take your first crop. So we, because of the tropics, our climate, we were able to get into it a little bit earlier, around 4 years. We had 4 really good, consistent years in the mid to late 2010s. The problem that came it became the damage of the beetles, because this wood, so like, it's not all white wine woods, but they're typically a little bit softer.
Okay.
Where like Syrah or like some of like Malbec, the wood is brittle, hard, tough. So it's just, we noticed that the beetles were hitting all of our whites.
What kind of beetles are eating it?
So it was like, I forget the specific science name, but it's a little black mite that basically it burrows its way in and then it poisons the core. So like you can still have green push, but then it's poisoning basically the inside. And then since it was in the old double spur, like on the like cordon wire. So like if you think about it like Chenin, right? So you had your fruit set here, and then you had the spurs basically going up, and we pruned the spurs. The issue is the beetles hit here. So then this became no good. So then eventually what happens is the plant starts shutting itself down inward. So we learned that, like, that's why when you go to a lot of these, like, they've all been in a retrofit, and you see a little bit bigger, older wounds at the base, like here and stuff, and that, because it was removing all that problem wood up top, getting it off, and then switching to a cane pruning style. So these are a little sloppy just because we're transitioning still, but there's probably some good examples coming up of actual like perfect like cane lay down renewals underneath.
Okay. You know, I did want to ask you something, man. So you know in Hawaii, the food scene, the restaurant scene, sommelier, they stress supporting local a lot, especially when it comes to produce.
Yes.
Grapes are a part of produce, but you're turning this produce into wine. How come I don't hear a lot of support for Maui Wine? The
biggest probably reason is just, it's taken us a long journey to get, I mean, like my mom will say that, like from where she went from working out of the jail to then working into the old like party house, which was where like the King's Cottage and where people stayed, to then now like updating everything, changing labels. It's just, we've come a long way and we've changed a lot, as well as we've limited access to a ton of this stuff. The stuff in the field, just because our local audience, like through our wine club and the people that have come out and visit us, especially on Maui, has gotten so big, especially after COVID, that I don't produce enough of this. Like this, like the grapes that are hanging right now, they're already sold.
Yeah.
Like it's gone. Like this is, I'm already looking at this to be blended away in a specific purpose, and then those bottles are already in a wine club shipment designed for early next year.
So you don't have the volume or
Oh God, no.
to be able to be talked about.
No. Like it's like we're working on that with like the sparkling. We've always been talked about when it comes to the pineapple wines, but the state stuff is. That's why I make like 15 labels, because I'm trying to learn what each varietal does, trying to learn what blends do with each other, and trying to figure out kind of vintage cues. But I'm trying to give enough variety. Because we're not a wine region here, so people look at us closer towards, in the sense of like a brewery, what's new, what's fresh,
Novelty.
yes. So what I do is, the way to help the TR is like, we craft the wines, but I craft multiple different whites, multiple different reds, and I highlight acid in this one, blossom in this one, like sweet fruit in this one. And then what I'm able to do then is have different wines highlight either different individual rows, blocks, or varietals. And then every few months when you come into the tasting room, it's like that rosé that was there, it might still be there, but then there's the brand new Gewurz, there's the brand new Viognier. Okay, those two are out. What about the Sway and Stride? Like, and then I can kind of drop in new wines, and then we also can take them away and then re-release them at a later date.
So as you you experience different elevations, the soil changes as well.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. So soils, it's one of the weirdest things. I don't think it's that big of a deal here.
Okay.
Just because we're such a young volcanic island that there is aspects of like our silted loam soil that are effective, but we're on the hillside where I could lose this entire top 8 inches or top 6 inches of soil in a bad rain.
Yeah.
And like, we're working on retention of soil, but our soils they're so young, they're very, very basic at their core, that isn't the indicator of like success. The other stuff, the other aspects of climate are the like bigger picture, like cloud cover, wind, stuff like that. Like soil plays a role in being good as a stressor, because it is a blank slate. Okay. But it's not the like end all be all, like how people talk about like Rhone in like when they're like growing out of the river floors, like out of all the rock. Like it's a different, like here it's a little bit different mentality.
What did you say the main challenges of growing different varietals in the tropical climate?
Oh, it's hard. I mean, it's just like anything else. It's hard because you don't have one focus, but it's also the blessing that you don't have one focus when it does have problems, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like the Syrah has been a success for 20 years. Like our Chenin, like it's coming to its end. Like we can go check it out in a second. It's coming to its end because we've experimented on it for over these 20 years, and we now know what will make it successful. So we're looking at planting the block below it and removing the old one and then replanting that one shortly after. So we're looking at increasing Chenin by like more than double right now. But it's just it's a blessing and a curse. It's fun for me as the winemaker. I think it's difficult on the vineyard team. Just because I get to play. Because what's fun is that I have, a big, juicy, jammy Malbec. And then right next to it, I can have a fruity, fun Grenache that then I can make into a rosé. I can make into maybe a Blanc de Noir if I wanted to, or I can make it into a tart, young, more like a kind of gamay style. Yeah, like I get to play.
Yeah.
So I get to play a little bit more. So like I have the stress of like trying to make sure we're keeping fresh and new vintages in the tasting room. They have the challenge of trying to make 6 varietals work in a place that's very difficult. Like I would say that if I took Viognier and moved it up the hill and put Syrah here, they wouldn't be as effective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me this. I've tried a couple of different of your estate Syrahs, and I thought they were wonderful.
Yeah.
Why not just grow a lot of Syrah?
So it's been kind of part of it's been that whole like joke. I mean, my mom doesn't like it because it like she, like a lot of marketing people don't like it because it's we're the 50-year experiment. So our 50th anniversary was last year, and our joke has always been we're the experiment.
Yeah.
And my mom doesn't want it to be like, oh, we're still like, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah.
It's an experiment kind of thing. But it's like, the idea is that no one will ever be able to figure out what Maui is until we try it.
Yeah.
Like our climate, our AVA, like who we are, and that's where like I'm working really hard on the back end trying to figure out that it's like, am I going to do like our Chenin, like the cane that I just did? It's very different than the last cane. The last cane was fruitier and bigger and a lot softer. This one is acid driven, a lot more kind of like cool climate like Vouv. Like we are talking tart, bright, lemongrasses, like completely different flavor profile, but it's like that might fit us. Like until you try, how are we gonna know?
And if you think about it, 50 years in, if you go back to California, hundreds of years.
Oh,
if you go to France, then it's thousands and thousands of years where they've been growing. So you're really at your infancy.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you look at, like I always like described us as not like nearly as like as an impressive as like Oregon, but it's like when I was in Oregon in that kind of going to college in the late 2010s, it was like the 40-year past like the real big push into Oregon. It's like, so all these like very legendary wineries are now like really established. And then it was just amazing wine was everywhere. And now like Oregon is, you know, their quality is insane across the board. I feel like we're in that like past that 40-year mark where it's like, wait, things are actually making sense now. Like I'm able to be like, oh, 2 and 2 is 4. Like there's a lot of the time when we were starting this beforehand, it was like nothing made sense at times.
You know, how does it feel to be at the front without too many people behind you, forging the path for future wineries in Hawaii?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's I just like it. I like being here because it's my home. Like I was born, I was born at the hospital in Wailuku. Like I grew up in Ulupalakua. I live in the neighboring house to my parents where I grew up. Like it's my home. So I care about it more from the sense of like, this community that I grew up in is like 20 people, and they put enough trust in me to let me do this. So I take it more on that stake, that I just take pride in the place and where I'm from. I mean, I hope eventually more wineries do it, but I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. Like, I mean, like what my, like we're getting the benefits and a lot of the stuff now, and people are giving me a lot of credit, but like what my mom did from taking a winery that could barely do, you know, a couple thousand cases of pineapple wine to then producing over 24 labels and being able to almost push out 32,000 cases at its max. Like that's a different, that's a different animal. Like, so like I get a lot of credit, but a lot of it is due to the people that came kind of before me. Just because like my mom's mentors, like some of them are, it's crazy. Like when you look at like their rap sheet of what they've done in their career and the fact that they were like willing to be like, hey, I'll come and help.
True. So, I mean, you're a good son. First and foremost, well, these are the Chenin over here, right?
Yes, yeah, we can go right.
If you take a look at these vines, guys, they look totally different from these, right? These are more established, older.
Yeah, because it's like
have been producing.
Yeah, so like you think about like, so cane is different in the sense. Let me try and find one. So like here, okay, so it's kind of a, it's kind of a clusterfuck right now, but so this is what happens. So say like on this one, because we were doing the retrofit, there's 2 heads, right? So what happens is when you're pruning, you're choosing your winners and your losers, essentially. So the winner was the laydown, right? So we laid down like 6 or 7 buds here. You lay it down, you tie it down. That then becomes the crop set, right? That's fruit. That's grapes this year. All right, so this is what we're growing off of. What you do underneath is that, so this is your laydown. You need a renewal. So for next year's crop, it's going to be one of these. Okay. So what we do in the next stage is that, because this is kind of a cluster and you can't see anything, what we do, we start going in and we start choosing winners. So what we'll do is we'll start basically just going, that's not going to be the renewal for next year. So what we do is we go through and we pop through so that we clean up all the congestion, but then it's like you have your current one this year that's going to be cut off next year, you have your renewal that will take its place, and then in turn you just keep the cycle going over and over again.
Science.
Yeah. Just basics, yeah.
Hey, let's talk about sense of place, man. You know, so like for your Viognier, your Chenin Blanc, your Syrah, your Malbecs, how do your wines showcase Ulupalakua?
I would say they're more rustic. I think that's like the biggest thing, is that as we've kind of gone down the path, is one of the weird things is we're not a warm climate. We're actually a cool to moderate climate. So I get more cool climate things going on. Like I don't ever get the hyper intensive jamminess that you can get out of like some California wines or from other places. Like are like, so you probably read it in some of your som books, is that the 120 grow degree days. Have you seen that one where it's like basically from like, it's essentially from like your start time to
Oh,
your harvest time.
like
It's
a season?
Yes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
depending on your climate, you go cooler or warmer, and then you drift off of that line. We are on the cooler side, so we should be less days, but we usually end up right around that mark or a little bit further, just because we go length of time and maturity on vine versus intensity of time on vine. Like how California is looking to hit that perfect interval into summer where they're getting the high heat, cool nights, and they're getting that rapid uptake in maturity level. This is an afternoon. You know, like we don't get like the crazy hot or the crazy cool. We sit in the moderate.
Thank God for today, though. This overcast is really nice for this
When
walk.
it's even like the fog is gone too. God,
Yeah.
like it like
trade winds
literally,
came.
we couldn't see Koholave, you couldn't see Lanai, you couldn't see Molokai. Like it was like we were socked in the last 3 days. Like you couldn't see anything.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it was a lot the last couple days.
So let's talk about these burly ass
yeah.
vines, bro.
Yeah, these older ones.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so a little bit older. So these are the oldest vines, and the fun thing about these actually is there's no rootstock. So throughout vineyards, like phylloxera outbreak and different diseases, people have designed different rootstocks to combat those problems, but also like drought resistance, or they're going into a clay-based soil, so they need a better ability for them to uptake like water as well as nutrient out of the store base. So you use different rootstocks. These are pure Chenin.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's no manipulation on these, and that's where we're moving forward. So like as we talk about like planting the block below this, which is bigger than this, and then replanting this whole thing, we're not even looking at rootstocks anymore. Because the problem is with the rootstocks is we have a rootstock up top in Syrah, Malbec, and they're designed for minimizing vigor. You've seen our vines in prime time. There's no lack of vigor. Like there's no reining it in. Like, so we think that what happens is that over time Maui wins, which makes sense. Like it's just eventually over time, like we have these designed rootstocks, but it's like they fit and were trained and designed and work within like very specific climates. They don't seem to do what they're told to do here. And there's nothing wrong with that. So what we're doing is to save ourselves some money, as well as then just grow pure Chenin. Because what's fun too is Kellen, who you've met, he's experimented. Like we've been taking cuttings and growing our own renewal plants completely from Maui. So we have our own like pure Grenache growing. We have our own pure Malbec. We have our own Chenin. So like we're even able to do like small scale replantings for ourselves. But if we wanted to in the future, it's like clear that hillside, put in a greenhouse. It's like we could cultivate and do like our own block renewals pending health.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're looking at that as well, just so that we don't, I mean, it's a lot to bring in cuttings from the mainland.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap date.
So is this what I had, the sparkling Chenin?
Yeah,
Did
so
it come from this?
so you had Blanc de Blanc. So Blanc de
Blanc.
Blanc came from this, yes.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about visionary wise for like,
I mean,
the
it's
Chenin or?
It's just, yeah, it's our oldest vine. We know what it is. Like we're replanting it for the simple purpose that it's like we know what we're getting. We know what kind of wines we can make out of it. It does fit our climate. It fits fish. It fits like hot sunny days. Like we can make it into sparkling. It works. As well as it rots like hell, so the vineyard hates it, but I'll take it early.
I gotta say, this is a lot of work, bro, to maintain, especially by hand.
Yes.
Your team.
Yeah. We do. I mean, like we have automation for certain things, but it's one of the reasons why we're looking at an expansion. Like, so we're in like a weird place right now, just because it's like we have very old stuff that we like and we're looking to transition. And it's not like transition, like get rid of stuff, but it's like we want to get bigger, and as we get bigger, automation can come into a play to at least take some of the strain off of our team for certain things.
We know that with Taisei Discovers. Same thing, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta get other people to do certain things. Like you got Tom over here taking pictures and.
Yeah, no, it's like anything else. It's a balance. So it's more we're figuring it out, but it's like we're in a transitionary period where it's like we're looking at options to improve the cellar. We're looking at an expansion into the barrel program. I'm looking at to try and start doing barrel fermentation. I want to like update and like, it's like if I could, the Grenache, even though, Grenache Red, it's like I would love to try and figure out how to make a Blanc de Noir, and it's been asked by a ton of guests as well if I could make one. It's like, that would be fun. So like we're in a transition of, we're still experimenting, but I'm about to like, I need to get rid of some labels. It's like 24 is a lot, so like not every year there'll be the that amount of labels. We'll bring it into rain, and then because now I kind of know, like, this blend doesn't work. This actually works. I need this kind of year to get this, or get this type of sway and stripe blend that I want. So then now I know at least enough to, not this year, next year. Okay, let me try this. Like, it's like we didn't do a white Syrah this year, but we did a rosé. I think the rosé is very good. Like, it's watermelon candy. But it's all based on what the vineyard can produce. Like, I can very easily screw it up. Yeah, it's a lot harder to make this functional.
What'd your mom say? She said you can't make a great wine with a shitty grape.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Yeah, no, like, it's like if you have a really good vineyard, you will have the chance for a very good vintage. You can fuck it up in the cellar, very bad. Like, there's times where it's just like you lose control of like last year, a few years ago, it's like we had a bunch of power outages, and it's like I had $500,000 of Malbec like starting to just tank rise and heat because it's like glycol came off, we couldn't get things going back again. So like the nightmare, the fear is up there. It's like do the best you can here, and then it'll be all right.
Sick, dude. Yeah, let's try to check out the other.
Yeah. We can, so you can see the Malbec and the Grenache and stuff.
All right, Brother Henry. So what we got here? What vineyard is this? And what stage are these vines in?
Gewurz is a handful of rows up. We're in Grenache right now. Malbec is the 26 rows down. But roses, indicator plant. So basically it's our disease point. So the reality is, for most places, you are looking at more for like the pretty of having roses at the end of your rows. But the indicator, for the most part, when you have disease, you have insects, you have problems, they're going to hit your edges. So a way to basically trial that out is you put rose plants at the edge of your rows. Those get hit first.
And it looks beautiful. Yeah,
they look pretty. Yeah, mom's happy. That's the main thing. Is the mom likes roses. So, but yeah, they're an indicator plant. So a lot of places use them. They're growing these ones here, and then we're slowly going to cultivate, because we want to do. It's a riff on Rose Ranch. So what we want to do is actually grow, like, have these lined up on almost all a Syrah. So we want to get it set up so that it has that pretty look. It also helps that it has an indicator. So if things are going really wrong here, you have a good indicator. Maybe something might be happening on this edge before it creeps too far into the block.
Has it ever helped you do some preventative measures?
I know at times, especially like, so a big impact for us is rose beetle. They'll hit that first. So rose beetle will hit that first, then it rotates into us. So it gives us a little bit of room. I mean, the moral reality is it's a good, fun accent to add to a winery, because you add a pop of color. Okay. Especially like with some of the other ones we have that are like solid yellow or orange and stuff like that. So it's a good pop of color. But yeah, it's helped at sometimes. But yeah, rose beetles are the main problem. Like, this one's gotten hit like here and stuff. So it's like starting to get hit. So, but it's not like bad. Like, it's when you come to these and it's like this thing is smoked. It's like, okay, like we go do a walk-in. It's like we need to do some work.
Okay. Well, what are some of the other challenges that present themselves during this stage?
This stage, they're cruising right now, because we're at the point now where we're confident in last year in their shutdown and then their restart. Like, we had so the big thing with pruning is you want to have bleeding. So
what does that mean?
So okay, so like this is all green, right? So then we trim down to here, pre-pruning, we pull brush. So you have little sticks. So as you go through, you're choosing your winners and losers. So it's like you're seeing like here. So double bud, 1, 2 bud, right? They cut off this one because these are the 2 buds for this year. They chose the double spur on the right-hand side just because look at spacing, right? If you took this left one, you're already pretty high up, but it's also like you're gonna collide into the pole, because these poles do radiate heat, so you do have spoilage there. So they're using this to fill in this gap, right, for the clusters. So the clusters will be here and here. So what they do with the renewals is that you actually want to leave a little bit of chunk. You want to leave, I forget the name of it, but you basically want to leave your version of a scab to be able to remove next year. So when we come back, we probably are looking at maybe a different bud or a different system. You remove this, you get rid of all the dead wood. So it's going to basically, you leave this extra tab, so this will dry out. You cut here, but you don't affect the flow rate and any of the stuff in here. So what you want to see is actually flow. So the idea is that it's like a wound. If I cut,
sap.
Yes, if I cut you want to bleed, right? Because it's like that's like it's a sign that it's like, okay, I'm good. Like, so you want to see actually some flow. So you'll have some sap be pouring out. So you want to have like a decent amount. Like, you don't need to be like the wounds don't need to be flooding out, but it's a good sign that you have good flow and you have good health. So if you like say I come here and I cut and it's like, okay, there's no water coming through and the wood doesn't look good, it's like that might be dead. So it's like that spur needs to be removed, renewal here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a way of giving yourself it's an easy like mental check of like good, bad, good, bad. Yeah, so it makes it easy to try and see these. So it also helps because a lot of places they go through and they use a product called Vitaseal. So you paint the wounds so things can't get into them.
Like a Band-Aid or
yeah,
some sort.
so like you also see like as we go through that like so like here. They chose this as the double spur for this year. They cut here, but they didn't cut flush. Because what you want this to do actually is to shut down this thing and then you'll trim this off next year, but you didn't damage the flow in here.
Okay.
So if you cut too tight onto your spur heads, you'll actually kill the flow and then you have to restart them. Yeah, so it's like that's where like pruning becomes difficult, and that's where like you have to have like pruning experience because you don't want to screw up.
And the point of all these techniques are to create the optimal fruit, right?
Yeah. When it's like you want fruit. Like it's like you want a fruit because we work so hard. You want to maximize having good fruit, and Grenache is a monster. Like these 10 rows is like just over an acre. We'll pull 4.5 tons out of this. Like, and that's with like, and that's with a green drop that's probably half.
And how much does 4.5 tons? How much wine does 4.5 tons produce?
By TTB standard, it's between like I think it's 125 and 155 gallons per ton. So, like 68 cases or something like that per 68 cases per. Sorry. Yeah, 68 cases per ton.
I didn't mean to make you do math on camera.
No. I was thinking in my head. I was like, it's hard when you say like, oh, it's 150, but it's like, what is 155 gallons? You know, so it's like it's around like 65, 68 cases. I think it's like 2.3785 or whatever it is. But yeah, you want to maximize, and this stuff, it's just like you can mess up pretty bad during pruning if you like are removing a lot of good wood.
Okay.
Like you want to remove the disease stuff and you want to get it cleaned up, but if you make mistakes, you just push the problem to next year and then to next year, and then you can have like serious problems where you need like a full retrofit, which is like take a hack.
Oh, hey, I got another question, man. Last time I was here, I saw like 200 sheep.
Yes.
What effect does livestock have on the vineyard?
For us, mainly, it's helping keep pests down. We're in the tropics, so high grass, bigger areas of greenery. Insect increase is the biggest thing. So trying to minimize insects as well as knocking down the grass, less chance for birds. So like we have to fully net in our vineyard, where like a lot of places on the mainland don't. So if we didn't net, we'd lose the whole crop in 2 weeks.
Because birds like ripe grapes.
Yep. Yeah, they like grapes, and it's also like if we don't get rid of like, essentially like if we have high grass directly next to vines or like set up, you're adding their ecosystem directly on top of something you're trying to preserve. So you're gonna get crushed. So it's just trying to minimize. So we keep grass down low. This is actually like kind of here, but this like outer area is like the thickest it's been in a while. Colin's a little bit behind probably on mowing because we're pruning right now. But like, yeah, usually this place is really well trimmed just because of those issues.
Okay, and then I also had another question. So like when I was in some of the vineyards in Oregon,
yes,
Lingua Franca to be exact, in the
yeah.
Amity appellation, there was a lot of shrubbage. And they were saying something about like, was it nitrogen or something like that?
Yeah, so you can grow like cover crops, just like how you do for like tomatoes or for other, big farm practices that they basically, instead of wasting all the money on fertilizers, they're then doing basically natural cover crops, and then they'll do it like an alternation. So it'd be like 1 and 3 are planted with the cover crop, then the following year, those get flipped in, 2 and 4 go next.
Okay.
So you can utilize certain crops as even I believe it's the yellow one. It might be mustard seed in California. They use it like it's everywhere. I don't know if it's a weed or not, but I think you can utilize that by tilling that back in. So people use different types of grass or grain or any kind of...
For different reasons, because there's some plants that are like natural insect repellents.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah. And
how well does that work? I mean,
I think it can work. I mean, I don't understand like the biodynamic rules as well as I used to. So biodynamic, like I don't know if you've had any biodynamic or know much about it. Yeah. So they do the ecosystem like how we keep our ecosystem in control to avoid insects. They grow like gardens to then battle the insects essentially, or they're problems.
They also plant to the moon cycle.
Yes, yeah. So like they do things definitely different to us, but they do it in a strategy where like they create a healthy overall vineyard ecosystem that balances out. It's just our like climate here is so extreme. It doesn't like it doesn't work as well. Like we've tried it before, but it's also like we are on an island. If we bring in like a clover or something, this thing could end up on that hillside.
End up in the elk farm.
Yes, yeah. So like there's certain things like we haven't done with it a ton because we don't struggle with nitrogen. We don't struggle with a lot of the core stuff. Like our simple soils, we're doing okay there. And because our canopy health there's so much vigor on our push, we're able to use those solar panels really effectively and actually get good storage, which in turn leads to continual like good crops for us, especially in the last like 6 years. So we don't have to play with that as much as other places. What our struggle is humidity because of that. So like say you're like, okay, so grapevines, like they want to grow down like a claw, right? So they grow down, get into blue rock, get into different stuff. That's how they hold their nutrient, anchor themselves in. The issue is that we are in a drier place on the island, but with high humidity. So what can happen, and it's happened across different blocks in stressful years, is the roots that are doing this at the base, what happens is that the humidity is so high, they start to do this. Oh. So they start to turn upward, and then in turn, these start to push roots. We've had these guys push aerated roots before up high because of the humidity. It's almost like the vine thinking it's buried.
Hey, Henry, you're so technical. Let me ask you a personal question, man.
Yeah.
If you weren't making wine, what would you be doing?
Oof. Something in the industry. Honestly, I wanted to do finance for the wine industry. Like I wanted to go work for the big guys and see I wanted to see how they make like a yellowtail work. You know what I mean? Like just think about like the logistics of like thousands of hectares.
You're like a man of metrics.
Yeah.
Measurables.
It makes it easier for my head. Like I'm more math based. Like I'm not like if you tell me to try and paint something, like I got no chance. I'm not artistic at all.
So the fact that you actually are in the wine business. Yeah. What's your why?
I think it's just my family. I mean, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in the vineyard. I grew up on that property up top. Like why do like some of like the third generation families farm? Like it's just like you wake up, it's what I do.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because it's kind of the story for Ulupalakua in general. As a ranch, the Paniolo, the people just working on this property, living on this property, the generational perpetuation of like labor and like, you know what I'm saying? And passion. You don't see that a whole lot of places nowadays.
No, and I think it's different. I mean, this community is like 20 people. Like it's cowboys and it's like our family in the winery. So it's like I grew up with a lot of the same kids that are now coming home, or like it's a different mentality here where you care because it's what your parents did. It's what your family did. It's what put food on the table for me growing up was figuring out this. It's like in my summers, I would basically come here and work all day. My dad would pick me up. He'd take me to the beach and I'd go surf with my dad. And it was like we did that between 10 and 16 until I got my license. But even then, it was just I would just pick up dad and we'd go to the beach.
Yeah, but then at a certain point in life, you left and you had aspirations to do this in other regions, and then you were something drew you back here.
Yeah, like I thought about the industry. I didn't think I was actually going to go into the wine industry. Like I enjoyed it and I grew up in it, so it was not to say easy, but it's like it clicked with me. Like I understood how to do it.
Yeah.
So I went away to school. I like anyone, I was lost. I didn't know what degrees I should get. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't like Oregon. I was upset about like what I should be. And I basically was like homesick, and it was pouring rain. It was the middle of winter and it was awful. And at that time I was just getting ready to kind of begin my stuff with different wineries. And then I got a call from one of the vineyard crew guys, and he was like, "Why don't you come prune with us?" And it was just like I went out and pruned, and I spent the whole day pruning, and like hard work, tired hands, like sore, and I was like, we got rained on at the end of the day, and it was just like, I want to do this. It was just like it clicked for me. It was like as soon as like it was just a day where it was like it was fun because I finished the pruning and I learned a couple of new styles of pruning at what is it, Willamette Valley Vineyards. They had this crazy quadrilateral system they were running. It's like I got to learn that, and then it was like the next day I was then going and learning like I got to learn something new about dragon hose and filtering and racking from another place, and it just became like where it was like it was practical and I could learn and keep going. Like it wasn't like I was like, okay, I got to write a paper now, I got to take a test now, or like take it by chapter. It was like I was able to bounce everywhere. I was like working in a tasting room, working in a cellar, working in a vineyard, and I was just basically figuring it out as I went, and then kind of just figured out I was good at it. I enjoyed it, and was like, a lot of people don't want to work like this, and I was like, I can maybe find a home for myself. Like I never really thought I was gonna come home. This place it's different for me now. This place is so special that like to be able to earn to come home is a big deal for me. Because, you know, my mom raised us here. Like, my dad did a lot for our family here. So being able to come home and be able to then take care of them, take care of the community is a different mentality. So for me, it was a very big deal. So I never really thought I could come home, in a sense. Like, not because my parents were hard on me or anything, but coming home is a big deal. Like, it's hard to live here.
Yeah.
So being able to, God, sorry, this vlog is whooping my ass right now. I'm like tearing from the vlog. But to be able to figure out how to come home here and be useful, I didn't think I was gonna be, because my mom and the experimentation like it's like, this is where experts need to be. You know what I mean? Not like some 22-year-old kid out of college. So it's a different kind of. It was a different perspective for me. Like I never.
Well, you're building your expertise now.
Yeah, like I never thought I would be home. Like I didn't think I was, like, not that I wasn't good enough, but it's like you have to be able to earn a place like this.
Yeah.
Like it's that special, where it's this rare, that like you need to be the best.
Do you feel like you're earning it?
I'm trying. I think that's the best answer I got, is I'm trying to make it work. Because it's very difficult, like figuring out the wines, and it's like we are alone. It's one of the biggest challenges I face, is that it's like I wish I had more winemakers around me as peers, because I could get ideas.
Yeah.
It's very hard where I'm on an island, metaphorically and physically. Like,
so you
it's
kind of feel alone?
Oh, for sure, yeah, because it's like I can't call my neighbor and be like, hey, I had an issue with my tanks, do you have a spare part? Oh, it's like this broke down, let me call my neighbor for a new like it's like we don't have that culture set that I think is why I liked Oregon's wine region so much, is that everyone knew everyone supported everyone, and it was like mom and pa, like we're doing this together, like, you know, come hell or high water, we're gonna figure it out as a valley. You know, so I kind of miss that mentality here. We get that in the sense of our farm bureau and like a lot of the people we work around, where it's like, you know how hard it is like to run a business here, let alone a farm. And then it's like to be able to have other people that are at least in your same shoes, where it's like, this is hard, but we're making it happen. So I see it more from that perspective. But yeah, being alone in this industry here is very challenging, because you are on an island. Like, I mean, I'm 2 days away from help from anything going, if anything goes really wrong and like I had to send wine off to like ETS labs for analysis, I'm 2 days away from getting a response, and an initial 2 days away from maybe getting product in. But if they have the product. But if it's during the off season, maybe they haven't brought in their shipment yet, I can't get it for another 2 months. Like, I just ordered a press, and it's like nothing crazy, just a small hydraulic press. They're not even getting in from Italy until August or September. So it's like I pre-ordered that in like February, and we're not going to get it until almost the next year.
Would you say that you're happy?
Oh yeah. No, because I think I'd rather struggle, like in like a weird sense.
Like a grape.
Yeah. No.
Remember last time we talked?
Yeah. No, I think I have to. It's part of like that thing of earning it. It's like you have to suffer a little bit. Like to figure something out, to get good at it, like you have to suffer.
And you can't really focus on the end product as much as
No.
be present in the journey, right?
Yeah. Like, no, it's like I mean, I think about more of like the stuff I learned with like Chenin in the cellar, with racks, with movements, before me doing a tasting with the girls at the tasting room. Like, I don't, is the final product was cool and fun, but by the time I get to the final product, I'm already like, I want to do this next year.
Yeah.
Let me try this. Wait, what if I can try and maybe do like these two different functions, or Yeah, like it's just, I don't know, I prefer to try and experiment. So by the time we get to the final product, I'm already like, not that I'm like, burnt out of it, but it's just like, it's time for my next thing. Like, I liked this about this, but I want to change this.
You know what that reminds me of is like any successful, great artist that is engulfed in their work and almost obsessed, and they just, I'm fully in it, and then as soon as they're done, they're like, next. You know what I mean? Don't even look at it.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's hard to look at your work, but it's like you've spent, like, I mean, the everyday stirring leaves, being in the cellar, cleaning, taking care. Like, it's just, you have a different level where you look at it and it's like, I enjoyed what this was and what it is, but I have to do it again. So it's like I get a reset every year, and I feel like that's where like a lot of people like don't get that at their job, is that they don't have like a, okay, time to get better, let's improve this, let's try this. Because even like a lot of the ideas, it's like Joe's changing things in the vineyard. I'll talk to my team up in the cellar, and it's like they're thinking like, why don't we do this? Why don't we blend this? Why don't we work this? Here, let's drop this in this tank. Let's try this different style of aging. Or like, so we get ideas by just pushing that boundary. So I see the end of the year and like the journey more as like my reset. The final product is more for me, is like when I'm putting it into barrel. Like for me, in the sense, because it's like at that point, it's like I've done my role. Time to mellow you out in the corner. I'll work on you when I get time. And like for me, then it's like beginning like the refinement kind of stage of things.
So you know, you're essentially an artist as well.
I don't know, man. I don't think I'm an artist.
Well, you're an artist because of the way that you paint your pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this is artwork to me. Like at the end of the day, when that product is in that bottle and people are experiencing your artwork, I'm just a guy that like likes to look at everything from the artistic lens.
Yes, yeah. I'm dude. I can't paint a stick figure. I'm so bad at art. Like
no, but you're not You're not necessarily painting, right?
Yeah.
You're creating by influencing the vines, by influencing the people that are working on the vines, and then fine-tuning things, and then making the product better the next time, right? The art piece better the next time. I just think that you're meticulous, you're passionate, and you're a visionary, and everybody that I've talked to that knows you said that would agree that you've earned your right to be in this vineyard making this wine. So
trying to.
Yeah, man.
No, it's a long journey.
That's my brother Taisei. I'm Kenji. Together, we're bringing you the future of wine. Join us as we discover vineyards, wineries, flavors, countries, and most importantly, the innovators who are redefining the wine industry. There's a story in every sip. There's a journey in every bottle. Our goal is to bridge the gap between the traditional culture and the emerging future of wine, breaking all kinds of stereotypes along the way. And if you want us to try your wine here in one of our blind tastings, or you want us to visit your vineyard, fill out the contact form in the description below. Thank you.